everyone, and welcome to another edition of Coffee with Father James. And I'm coming to you today with my Yeti coffee mug, which is one of the best coffee mugs for keeping your coffee hot. And that's a good thing these days. I think today it's to go down to minus 13. I mean, it's such a strange world we live in. A couple of days ago, it was plus 13. Now it's minus 13. Welcome to Nova Scotia. But the good thing is the time change was last weekend and the days seem longer anyway. And certainly the daylight into the evening hours is increasing, which is wonderful. Now, speaking of evening, last week we had our first experience of evening prayer or Liturgy of the Hours. And this coming week, we are doing the same thing again. We're almost the same thing. The occasion for evening prayer last week was the reconciliation, the time of celebration of the sacrament of reconciliation, Thursday night, all day Friday, which was fantastic. There were lots of hours in the confessional, and it was beautiful. It was wonderful. This week, it's the feast, or rather the solemnity of St. Joseph. Now, I mentioned this last week, how it's, like 3 reasons to party. It's a solemnity, which is like a Sunday. It's the year of St. Joseph, and we're Canadians, patron saint of Canada. So as I said last week, this Friday, total party day. Fasting gets put on the back burner. It's going to be a great day. And on Friday night, we're having evening prayer, 6:30, and the prayer workshop will follow at 7 o'clock. You can join us on Zoom, in person. We have obviously limits on person of how we can do that. But it'd be great to have you there. The statue of St. Joseph has been moved. If you're around the church, you can peek in and take a look. So that's evening prayer on Friday night. And the prayer series is going incredibly well. It's been very well received, and the Lord is on the move. The Holy Spirit is on the move. So that's evening prayer. Now, speaking about the Holy Spirit on the move, I've got a little announcement to make. Actually, it's a big announcement. So over the last 6 weeks, we've been working on the budget for 2021. There's a reason why we can't get it done ahead of time. Well, the primary reason was we were kind of like trying to get our act together. But we're waiting for a lot of final numbers, end of year numbers, numbers from the diocese that only come in the new year. So we're working with those. We've been working hard to change the format of the budget. We had different drafts. We got it approved by the Finance Council. And here's the good news. We figured we've got enough money in the budget to hire another staffing position. And in working with the parish leadership team about what the best role what's strategically, what makes the most sense? We decided that the thing that makes the most sense is to hire another administrative role. So the role we're going to hire for is office manager. Right now, we don't have an office manager. We don't have a secretary, receptionist. Roy, who is the operations manager, he's working at the bigger level of, our 11 to 13 buildings. However, if you wish to interpret the St. Peter's location as possibly 3 buildings, the office, the church, and the residence, plus all the other buildings and all the issues of contracts and moving forward and the future. That's kind of like what Roy does. Sherry is now entirely doing finances and bookkeeping. She's not doing any other administrative role. And Brad, whose communications has been doing a lot of stuff in the middle. So a lot of people are sharing that role. So we figured this will close the gap, having someone to take care of a lot of basic administrative things, which will release the other staff who have kind of been covering those bases to do what they're supposed to do. So that was clear for us. We have the position approved by the diocese, and by the time you see this video, it will be up. It's going up tomorrow. Now, the other position we're going to hire for, I know you're like, another position, what the heck? Well, this was a surprise. We weren't planning on this. I've shared with many of you our hopes for the future in terms of developing our presence as a parish in North Dartmouth. And, for now, for this foreseeable future, that presence is going to be at the St. Anthony's location. It's well situated there. We already have the partnership with the food bank. We've got a furniture bank there. We've got an evening session, a 12-step program that's faith-based. We've got the House of Hope for men recovering from addictions. We've got the prisoner reintegration program that's running out of the basement. We have a lot of ideas about potentially what we could do in that location for the poor, primarily through, not just inspiring and equipping our own parishioners, but also forming partnerships with other community groups, other churches, other Catholic parishes, other Christian churches who have a similar vision. Well, we also have, I said the furniture bank. There's a furniture bank operated by the Franciscans of Halifax. So we have a vision of that location being like a lot of activity, amazing activity, reaching out to the poor, helping them both materially and spiritually, and doing it in partnership. So 2 weeks ago, a friend of mine called me and he said, James, I feel called to make a donation to your vision for North Dartmouth. And he said, however you think to use it. Anyway, he offered to make a nice donation. And the best use of that donation, I believe, is to hire outreach coordinators. So someone who will coordinate all of the outreach activities of our parish, primarily up in the new development of North Dartmouth and that campus, all of the possibilities. And part of this role, it's going to be a very kind of exciting role that has to kind of define itself in terms of leading the development of partnerships and creating a strategic plan. And also we only have the funds for 1 year. So a part of this job is we're going to need someone who's quite adventurous. So that a part of this job is going to have to be to secure funding for the future. So, but I believe there'll be people who will feel the call to be a part of that. And I just think that the Lord is behind this. Like this, it's going to be wonderful. I'm convinced of it. So these two positions, we got the go-ahead from the Archdiocese, because one of the things that the Archbishop has called us to focus on as a parish going forward in the next couple of years is the issue of poverty and homelessness in particular. So it seems the Lord seems to be opening doors for us. So that was unexpected, and so please pray for that. And by the time you see this video, the job postings will just have been put up. So the other interesting thing is this past weekend I met with the Polish community. So let me tell you about this. The Polish community was what's called a non-territorial parish, and they were meeting at the St. Anthony's location for, I think, close to the last 20 years. I might not be exactly right about that, but they've been there for a long time. Non-territorial parish means that they're a parish, but they're not in a geographic boundary, because people would be traveling from Bridgewater, from Truro, from all over the place to come together to celebrate the liturgy, to pray together in their native language, and to be with one another. And as of January 1st, 2020, that parish no longer exists, just as St. Peter's Parish no longer exists, and Immaculate Conception and St. Paul's and St. Anthony's no longer exists. That parish actually is a part of Our Lady of Guadalupe. So I've been wrong all along in saying that Our Lady of Guadalupe is an amalgamation of 4 parishes. It kind of took me a while to get my head around this, but looking at the documentation, I've realized that Our Lady of Guadalupe Parish is actually the amalgamation of 5 parishes. The 4 Dartmouth locations, traditional locations, and the Polish parish, St. Faustina Parish. So I haven't really put a lot of work and effort into thinking about what that might mean, but a couple of months ago we started connecting with the Polish community, and a couple of weeks ago I met with some of their leadership, and it resulted in me this past Sunday going and celebrating Mass. They have a Polish priest who comes in to do Mass, and I had a meeting with them afterwards to say, look, what does this mean? Because on paper I'm your pastor, but in reality I've been a terrible pastor because I haven't even come to visit you, and we've been so busy I haven't really stopped to examine this. And anyway, I asked the community, like, what do you want? I mean, we can continue to do it the way we've been doing it, which is basically, practically nothing changes from what was the case. You can continue to use the building and continue to have Mass in Polish as long as you have a Polish priest. But the community really responded, and they were like, no, we want to be a part of this. We don't just want to be a community that meets on Sunday. They talked about how in the past they've contributed to the parish. They helped renew the buildings there. They've done different community events, and so they're open. And there was about 60, 70 people there, and I have to say I was pretty impressed. And so I'm not sure what that's going to mean for us, but it means that we're going to go forward with it and try to discover this together. Because here's the thing, the challenge here is okay, you're not just off on your own, you're a part of this bigger community, this bigger parish, but also the Polish community is distinctive. They have Mass in Polish. They They pray together. There's a unique culture there, and the fact that people travel from all over the place. And so while we want to help them to be more a part of our parish, they're still distinct. It's not about them losing their distinctiveness. So exactly how we're going to do that, I have no idea, but we're going to figure it out. And I'm really excited. So to all my Polish parishioners, I can say that now, all my Polish parishioners, dzień dobry, jak się masz, życie jest dobre, and co jest w piekarniku. And I have another phrase, but it's not very pleasant. I won't say it. So what did I just say? I said, I think I said, good day, how you doing? Life is wonderful, and what's in the oven? So the next thing is Alpha. So Alpha, you'll see on the other side of my Yeti mug, the Alpha logo. And we are inviting you to a taste of Alpha. Hang on, I'm going to take a taste. Taste of Alpha. What is Taste of Alpha? We've been speaking about this. We're going to experience the whole Alpha format, if not the entire Alpha experience. What do I mean by that? Alpha is a tool to reach people on the outside of the church. It also works incredibly well to rejuvenate and revitalize those on the inside. You do it both at the same time, but we're just going to run Alpha for people on the inside. So it's not real Alpha, okay? We're calling it Taste of Alpha. It's going to be great. It's going to be online Alpha. So here's, people have been asking me, Father James, when is this starting? You've been talking about it. We want to, book time off. So the first evening, our come and see evening, is going to be April the 12th, Monday nights. Monday, April the 12th. It's 2 weeks after Easter Sunday. It's going to be on Zoom. We'll give you more information. And then it's going to be 3 weeks before it starts on a weekly basis. It will start on May 3rd and go every week. There's a reason for that. I won't bore you with the details, but it's a very good reason. So April 12th, just put that in your calendar, April 12th. And remember, at this point, we're not inviting people to experience Alpha who don't go to church yet or whatever, because we need to experience it ourselves first. And we'll do that in September. So Alpha Taster, Monday, April 12th on Zoom. More details to come. Speaking about things to come, the tax receipts are in the mail. You should have already received yours. If you haven't received yours, check your mailbox. And if by next week you still haven't received yours, call Father Rob. Thank you. Number 6 on my list, happy March break. And to all of you who have teenagers stuck at home with you, just please know that my thoughts are with you. You're in my prayers, and this too shall pass. Grab yourself, maybe coffee wouldn't help very much, but the prayer workshop will. So remember to check that out on Friday night. It's been wonderful to spend time with you, with all of you, and just remember, co jest w piekarniku. God bless.